Luke chapter 9. In Luke chapter 9, Jesus asked his followers a question. And the question is simply this: who do they say that I am? Of course, we have this in other accounts, and of course, this is where we have the response in other Gospels where it says, you are the Messiah. And then Christ's response is, upon this rock, I will build my church. But here in Luke, we recognize that he asked this question, and he wants to ask the question that the disciples will make declaration with clarity of who they believe and say and hold that he is. Now, when Jesus asks this question, they respond with some interesting responses. They say, hey, Jesus, some of them believe that you are a great teacher. Jesus was teaching in his ministry in a way that the people had never heard. He was teaching in a manner that was opposite than not the Pharisees or other religious leaders may have been speaking. And so the way he taught intrigued the listeners. And they wanted to hear him speak because he gave bigger truths than they had ever heard. They were getting the authentic word received to them. And so they saw him as a great teacher who gave great moral truth. But yet to think of him as a great teacher is to truly limit who he is as the Son of God. I think the second thing that they would have said, and they said, is, Jesus, some of them think you are a godly prophet. So some say you're a great teacher, others say you're a godly prophet. Now, when they say, Jesus, some believe that you are a godly prophet, they're saying that you are the one, you have this status of being the spokesman for God. But the problem with this is it negates who he is. It doesn't see him as the Son of God. It does not see him as the Messiah, but rather nothing more than a messenger who is speaking on behalf of God. They see him as an ambassador, not the Savior. And so when they say that he is a godly prophet, they are saying you're doing nothing more than pointing to one who will come, as if they cannot see that he is the fulfillment of that. At the same time, they said some believe you are nothing more than a great messenger. So we have a great godly prophet, a great teacher, and a great messenger. And they compare this because they would have understood the ministry of John the Baptist. And they said, you are a forerunner like John. But then Peter makes this declaration that we must never overlook. Because Peter shows us that he is understanding who Jesus is. And I hope for us, we do more than see Jesus as a great teacher or a godly prophet or a great messenger, but that we could be like Peter and say, you are God's Messiah, meaning you are the appointed one. You are the anointed one. You are the one who God has sent to be the Savior of the world. Now, what we need to know here that this declaration separates him from others. Others were saying you're a representative, but now they're starting to point, you are the chosen one, the one has been prophesied about. And eventually they will make this declaration with, you are the Son of God. But we need to understand that though they don't fully understand this yet, they are gaining the comprehension of the proper understanding of who Jesus is. Now, we may ask today, is it important that we understand who Jesus is? Absolutely. We must understand him as the Son of God. We must understand him as the Messiah. And we must not allow anyone else to be declared that. This is a part of understanding, yes, who he is. Not just a great teacher or a great messenger or a godly prophet, but he is the Messiah, the Savior. And when we recognize that, our lives are changed. And so when you think about Jesus, if he asks you, who do they say that I am? Would you respond like Peter? You're the Messiah, you're my Savior, you're my Lord. Or would you respond to the masses? As you think about this, let's prepare our hearts to dive into Luke chapter 10 tomorrow.